yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Beat in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab it and take it. Like a disease, bring to their knees. Takes a thing to see. Just like a week.
You already know what time it is, motherfuckers. On the seventh day, the Lord rested because DJ Storm said, "Don't worry, big guy, I got this shit." Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms. I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to a very special edition Sunday stream, as we are streaming live on 4 different platforms across 4 different accounts. As of course, you already know who the fuck I am, Mr. Controversy and the operator of the Best Damn X, formerly known as Twitter handle, known to mankind. And this is the official rewind for WWE King and Queen of the Ring 2024, which of course streamed live on the Peacock, that is. Get your mind out of the gutter, you fucking savages. Peacock, yesterday afternoon at 1 p.m. from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And as you can see, I am not alone here. Back with me one more time. It's been a long time since he's been back here, but I'm very happy to have him back. He's going to be coming out with some new videos of his own. He's starting up his own channel. He's going to be giving you his own brand of wrestling analytics in due time. Coming to us from Indianapolis, the brother I never fucking had, my man, Lil Stevie. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there, man. I'm hanging in there. And I'm ready for a continuation of a great weekend of professional wrestling. So we got a lot to talk about. But before we get into what we're going to get into, where can everybody find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter. Wow, I'm promise you I'm gonna get better. I promise you. At Lil Stevie 317. Other than that, you probably don't want to see my any other social media. So I'm just gonna keep it at the Twitter.
We keeping it at X right now. That's all right. It's all right. You already know where y'all can find me, people. At HistoryMaker DJS, because all I do is make history in everything that I do. At HistoryMaker DJS, both on X and Instagram. You can add me on my personal Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, which we are live on right now. And I made you send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. All those links are in the description, as well as the link to my Rumble. We're looking to build a nice, solid following on Rumble as of right now. So please go check me out on Rumble. Be sure to like the stream no matter where you're watching it from, whether you're watching it on X, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitch, Rumble, whatever social media platforms that you may be using. I got a Lil Stevie with me and DJ Shizzle Dizzle. We're both live right now on a Sunday on the Memorial Day weekend. Everyone needs their dosages because it's a known fact that we tend to make people's lives better. I didn't make the rules. Yeah, I did. In addition to that, please make sure you hit me up for the official DJ Storms merchandise. We got wristbands, what Stevie has, and we also got DJ Storms t-shirts. Stevie just bought one, and the greatest fucking piece of merch that anyone will ever fucking buy. DJ Storm's switchblade fucking combs with the lightning bolts on the side there. And if you want to be as fucking delicious as I am, all you need is to get yourself one of these, and then you gonna be so good. You gonna be the fucking scrumptious snack of the town, and everyone's gonna want a piece of you, just like everyone wants a piece of the Stormsmeister. Anyway, I'm getting a little carried away right here. Why don't we get straight into the festivities here? We had King and Queen of the Ring yesterday afternoon. I'm not going to lie. I could get used to these afternoon pay-per-views. I actually like the nice setup that WWE has with these international shows and the afternoon pay-per-views. Matter of fact, I'm actually getting really equipped with these watch-alongs as well. I wasn't too big of a fan of them either, but I'm actually liking these afternoon pay-per-view watch-alongs that I've been doing this month. But if there is one thing that I noticed yesterday afternoon for King and Queen of the Ring, the first 4 months of WWE, the majority of content that we've gotten has been lackluster as fuck. But the month of May, I don't know where they decided to do a 180, but I'm not saying that it's great, but it feels like we're trending in the right direction because we've actually gotten a lot more good material in the month of May, more so than negative material. The first 4 months, I don't know where their head was at. I really don't know what the fuck they were doing between January and April, but after the draft, it seems as though they got themselves on the right track to a point where we've been getting some solid shit, not just on pay-per-view, but on the weekly shows as well. It's nothing that's going to blow your mind away, but we've been getting some shit that's tolerable on a Monday, tolerable on a Friday. The King and Queen of the Ring tournaments had some really damn good matches, and they capped off the month of May with a very good overall show yesterday afternoon for King and Queen of the Ring, and it genuinely feels like now, after how many years of Triple H finally being in charge of the main roster, almost 2 years, after all the power struggle, it now feels like we're finally getting a sense of change in the WWE, and I hope that they keep this up, because if they do, we could be in for WWE's best summer period in a long, long time, and I mean a long time. But I want to throw it over to you, Stevie, before we get into the specifics. What do you think of the overall show and what WWE could be doing going into the future?
I like it. I like it a lot, actually. The show, it wasn't a bad show. It wasn't a great show. It did what it had to do type show. Like we had expectations when we went into the show. It didn't fill the expectations. It didn't go over the expectations. It met them. It was a solid show. It was decent. It was a lot of eye turners. Nia Jax, people are not a big fan. She's winning me over. It's like every time I see her on TV, she's doing something funny. She's doing something out of character. Like she's growing on me very nicely. So this win for her was nice. You had a nice, good wrestling mixed in with it. The main event was a little too theatrical for me, but again, it did what it had to do. So like it was overall solid, very, very, very solid show.
Now, we'll start off with the pre-show here. We had Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae versus Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. This is for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. I got a couple questions here. Number one, Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, they won a Fatal 4-Way number one contenders match on Monday, but yet Indy and Candice are getting the title match here at the pay-per-view. Really doesn't make any fucking sense. Now, on top of that, Candice LeRae realistically could be argued as perhaps one of the best women's wrestlers in that company right now. And what the fuck do they have her doing? She's in a tag team with a woman like Indy Hartwell, who shouldn't even be on the main roster right now. At the end of the day, this match was done merely to get Jade and Bianca a title defense on a pay-per-view. And I actually have another question. Why is Jade Cargill and the women's tag team titles being positioned over both sets of men's tag team titles, over guys like Ricochet and Dragunov and Andrade and Dragon Lee? Is this really what we're focusing on right now? We're pushing Jade Cargill over both sets of men's tag team titles and all of those names that I just named, and all the names that I'm forgetting. All the names that I'm forgetting as well. Now, I'll say this. The match was not necessarily the worst match I've ever seen. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, this is the worst match of the year. No, it wasn't the worst match of the year, but no one gave a shit. No one gives a shit about the women's tag team titles. Matter of fact, I am still wondering why the fuck we still have them. How is it that Jade gets on the show, but you don't give anything to a guy like LA Knight or a guy like Carmelo Hayes? Guys like that, and you give them nothing on this show? That is a fucking major disappointment right there. Not a terrible match, but not needed at all. And the last thing I will say before I hand it over to you, the only positive that I will say about this is the fact that the double team finish from Jade and Bianca, that was nice. That was nice. Other than that, I mean, dude, this was completely fucking unnecessary, not needed, and it honestly made the pre-show feel worthless. And I always preach about making the pre-show feel important. They didn't do that here.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And the tag team, I expected it, kind of, not really. I expected them more to feud, but the tag team, it comes off authentic. So, like, I'm not mad at the tag team because it seems like they really are good friends and they are close and they're trying to elevate the tag team titles. And everybody preaches about it when the tag team titles gone. I want them gone, trust me, everybody does. But you'll face a lot of backlash. Let's be honest, he will face a lot of backlash if he just trashes the women's tag team title. That's a lot of backlash that WWE just doesn't need at the moment. Like, they've always been viewed as racist or sexist or whatever. So the titles are here. I feel like the titles are here to stay forever at this point, which they're not needed, but they're here to stay. So if Bianca and Jade if Bianca and Jay can somehow elevate it, which I can see them elevating the tag team division because they are outgoing women, they are on red carpets, they are out in celebrity events doing more stuff. So I can see more eyes getting on the titles. I can see more support being on there. But like you said, this match was really worthless. It was just to get them a defense under their belt, just to get them on the pay-per-view. And I feel like they'd probably do Zoe Stark and Shayna probably at SummerSlam or probably at Bash at Berlin. If not SummerSlam, Bash at Berlin, that's the next pay-per-view. I would personally do it at just a random Raw just because more title matches on Raw. Like, why not? And really build for a really good tag team. Like, if the titles are here to stay, let's actually build for title matches. Actually make shit more important. So, like, for the Bash of Berlin, let's actually get a nice little feud going. Let's get something going so we can actually care about the next title defense and not just wash under the rug. But that's all I
Well,
really
the
got.
next pay-per-view is actually Clash at the Castle, not Bash in Berlin. Bash in Berlin's in August.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I apologize. My mishap. Well, it'll probably be there. But yeah, let's do it on Red Night Raw. Let's build up a nice feud so when we actually go there, we have something nice going into. We actually have something we can actually want to watch and not just sweep it under the rug and say, just another random title. You know what I'm saying? Just another random title to fans. Like, I feel like they just never have really anything important to do.
Well, the women's tag team titles were never really important to begin with. And to be quite honest with you, it doesn't really matter whether or not they take those titles to the red carpet or not, because no matter what they do, no matter what kind of matches or feuds that they build up, no one's going to give a shit about them. Now, Jade looked better here than she did at Backlash. I don't know what the fuck happened down the home stretch at Backlash. She just kind of fell apart there. But in the end, all this shit really is biding time until they're ready to put Bianca and Jade in the ring together. But at the end of the day, no matter how many red carpets they have them walk down with the titles, no matter if they want to try and build up any feuds, no one's going to give a shit about the tag team titles. And if we're going to be quite honest here, there's a lot of women in the tag team division that should really be in the singles division. People like a Zoe Stark, if they build her up right. People like a Shayna Baszler. People like a Kairi Sane. People like a Candice LeRae. And they're all stuck fighting for worthless tag team titles that WWE, even under Triple H, never gave any effort to. Even from the jump, they never gave any effort to them. So I don't really know where the fuck they're going to go here, but I can't really sit here and say that it's necessary, and I can't really sit here and say that Jade and Bianca are going to do anything with them.
The thing about the tag team division that threw me from the start and that's throwing me now is like they didn't have enough women as a tag team, and they still don't have enough women as a tag team. Like, now they just still throw women together. Like, Jade and Bianca, they're a thrown together tag team. Now they fit, They work together because they're both athletic, they're both big, they're both strong, they're both great athletic specimen. So they work. But most tag teams are just thrown together. Like Shayna and Zoe, that's a thrown together tag team. Why do I care about Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler as a tag team? I don't. They're singles competitors. So I feel like if they actually kind of like cared more about actually putting women together that we actually care about, like they actually have a connection or they actually could come out on screen, because Bianca and Jade come out perfectly on screen. They come out like they actually like each other. They come out, they make everything more fun. Even when they throw Naomi, like it comes off naturally. But like everybody else, it just seems like it's not as natural. Like only person who has that other natural connection besides the Kabuki Warriors is Candice LeRae and Andy Hartwell. But just because again they have history and it was built together and they have that connection. But I can only name probably about three other women who have that connection and are together in WWE together. So like the women's division would never, tag team division would never mean anything unless they actually put effort into the actual competitors in the division, like any other title. Like you got to actually build up competitors and actually build up the people to make any title feel any types of important.
And here's another question. What the fuck are they doing with Bayley? Seriously. What the fuck are they doing with Bayley?
And the thing about it is, I like Bayley. I feel like Bayley's one of the best horsewomen. I feel like Bayley's one of the best women in the company, technically, on the mic wise, character wise, like babyface heel, she can get it done. But they just, it's like they just never cared about her title reigns ever. Like
They disregard her.
I can't remember one title reign Bayley's had besides her being in NXT where she's felt important as the champion. And like it's just like they just give her the champion. Sometimes they might give her 2 or 3 good matches, but then they just really just let her title reign just fall to the courtside.
That pisses me off. It really, really does. But, you know, we'll see what happens regarding Jade and Bianca. I don't know how long they're going to hold these titles. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know who the fuck is going to take the titles off them. And I don't even give a fuck. By the way, ladies and gents, if you're watching on YouTube right now, be sure to hit the super chats, hit the super stickers, hit the super thanks, and be sure to become a member of the channel. It will be the best pieces of money, the best membership of the channel that you will ever get. You will get special perks, special emojis, and you'll get exclusive videos. If we get enough channel memberships, you will be getting exclusive videos sooner rather than later. Let's get into the main show now. We had 5 matches on the main show. We started off with Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch for the WWE Women's World Championship. Now, I have been hard on the build towards this match, and rightfully so, for one reason and one reason only. I've been hard on this build because Liv Morgan has had 0 momentum and 0 credibility going into this match. Why did she have 0 credibility? Because all they had her do was lose big matches all year. I've been stating it almost every single time that I talk about her on here. She lost the Royal Rumble. She lost inside the chamber. She lost the Women's Battle Royal. Becky Lynch even beat her on the road to WrestleMania. So how is anyone supposed to sit here and take Liv Morgan seriously in a big-time matchup when she has all these losses in such a short period of time and she just came back from injury? That's always been the problem. It's never been the fact that they don't have history. It's never been the fact that Liv Morgan's a bad wrestler. The match was going to be fine. I didn't have an issue with the match itself. I had an issue with how they were going to end this match. How were they going to get the title on Liv Morgan with it being believable? Now, after what happened, I will say what they did was probably the only possible outcome to make Liv Morgan beating Becky Lynch seem believable. Dominic swooped on in. Dominic Mysterio swooped on in, and with all of these elements that's going on with Dominic and Judgment Day and the fact that Dominic is getting himself into shit with the Judgment Day and Rhea Ripley's out with injury, in comes Dominic. Rhea is out. Liv Morgan sees the opportunity, DDTs Becky on the steel chair, Oblivion and she wins the championship, that was probably the best possible route that they could have gone to make Liv Morgan beating Becky seem legitimate enough. Now, let's go over what went down in the match, and then we will go over what could happen following Liv Morgan's victory. So, first of all, Becky Lynch, what the fuck was Becky Lynch wearing? Dude, I swear to God, did you see my tweet? I said she looked like a fucking pilgrim. Dude, I swear to Christ, she looked like she sailed on the fucking Mayflower and she was getting ready to have Thanksgiving dinner with the Native Americans. Dude, what the fuck was she wearing?
Bro, I don't know. And like, think about it, it was like, I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, okay, she looked like a little cat woman out there. I like the little vibe she going for. And you have Liv come out in the skin tight, red chains all around. I'm like, okay, what's this is like the
Liv
old
looked great.
lady. I'm like, this is the old lady mom attire versus the young going out to the bar attire. You can tell
All
Becky's
she was
older.
missing was the fucking buckle on her hat.
You can definitely tell Becky's a little older, and she's a mom, and she's like Becky reminds me, like her outfit reminds me like the little minivan mom, like at the soccer practice with all the chips and the drinks, and that soccer mom, and then Liv's the soccer mom who comes, she's a little intoxicated. She was out a little, she was out a little too late at the bar, but she's still out there cheering with her little sunglasses on. Trying not to see everything.
And then like all the 13-year-old boys are like perving on her.
But yeah, the match wasn't bad. I liked the match. If I'm being honest, the match I watched it twice. I watched it twice. The first time I watched it, I didn't like it as much as my second watch. The second watch was much better than my first watch, but they both still go together. I feel like the match was a little slow, and I felt like it wasn't really as fluid as it could have been. It was like 2 to 3 instances where I seen. I hate it. It's a real pet peeve of mine. I might be nitpicky, but it's a real pet peeve of mine where the other wrestler just standing there looking stupid while the other wrestler is waiting for their cue to go hit their move. I've seen it like 3 times in this match where Liv is just sitting there looking stupid, and then Becky would go for the disarmer, but Liv sat there for like 5 seconds just sitting there waiting for her to come hit her cue. Or like at the end of the match when the Oblivion went on the chair, Becky sat there and was waving her arm and looked dumb for like a good 5 seconds before Liv even ran over there and hit the move. And I might be nitpicking, but I just feel like the match was a little slow. It wasn't as fluid as it could have been. But overall, it wasn't a bad match. They had it was good storytelling. I don't know how I feel about the Dom and Liv situation. I don't know where it goes. I don't want Dom to be the character who's just following a pretty woman around everywhere he goes. I don't want Dom to be that guy. 'Cause I feel like Dom has grown as a wrestler since he's been in Judgment Day and over the years since he's debuted. So I feel like if Judgment Day is going to end soon, 'cause I don't think Liv is replacing Rhea in Judgment Day. I feel like Judgment Day is probably going to end in probably the next 2 to 3 months, probably around SummerSlam. It'll probably end. I would like Dom to go his own and be a singles guy. I feel like he's earned it. I feel like he can thrive in it. I don't really want him just to be chasing around or under a pretty woman all the time. Like if he goes from Rhea to Liv, I don't really like that. And I hope when Rhea does come back, she does leave Judgment Day. I hope Judgment Day is more of her like distancing herself from them, because I feel like since she's joined Judgment Day, her title run hasn't been not her title reign, but her as a character like has came down a little bit because they've been focusing so much on her just as this mommy character and this dominant woman. They really haven't tapped her in ring and what Rhea Ripley really is. So I don't know where they go from here. Maybe Liv just keeps taunting Rhea, and then she just has random title defenses against other people. I don't know what woman's really built up enough right now. Maybe I can't say.
There's nobody.
Yeah, I can't really think of anybody on Raw right now who's built up enough to go challenge her. So maybe she just. But every time I see Rhea, she hasn't had her little orange sling on, and she's always out and about and doing her thing. So maybe she's not that far away, and so maybe by Clash of the Castle or Bastion Berlin, she's back. I probably bet my money on Bastion Berlin. She'll probably be back, and then they can feud into SummerSlam and stuff like that. So I don't know where that goes. Becky, time off. Everybody keeps bringing up her contract situation. She's not going anywhere. Becky's not leaving. Becky's not going to AEW. Becky's not going to TNA. Becky's not going to Japan. Becky's staying. She's gonna go be a mom. She's going to probably go take 4 to 5 months off. Go be with Seth while he recovers from his surgeries and does his thing. Be a mom and just do whatever the fuck Becky Lynch wants to do.
Pretty much. But I don't think that Dom is pretty much just following around the pretty woman. The whole basis of the ending was this. Well, first off, let's go over what happened. So Becky Lynch, as I said, came out dressed like a fucking pilgrim. So Pilgrim Lynch and Liv Morgan, they went back and forth a little bit. Both of them hit a double lariat. Becky then mounted a comeback with a flying forearm and a Beck Exploder. We had a flying forearm off the apron as well. Missile drop kick by Becky for a 2. Liv Morgan with a springboard codebreaker, which looked very nice. Missile drop kick by Liv for a 2 count. Reverse DDT off of the ropes by Becky for a 2. Morgan then with a running enziguri. Becky with a butterfly suplex into an armbar. Morgan reversed it into a Rings of Saturn, which looked very nice. Becky then reversed it into a disarmer of her own. Dominic Mysterio then came out. Liv Morgan was able to get to the ropes to break the submission hold. Liv with a code breaker. Becky kicked out. Becky then with a superplex on Liv. Dom then came in. He tossed a chair to Becky, and it made it look like Dom wanted Becky to use the chair on Liv because he said to Liv that he's looking to prevent Liv from winning the championship. Liv Morgan saw this. Dominic was distracting the ref. Liv Morgan took advantage, DDT'd Becky Lynch on the chair, hit Oblivion, and Liv Morgan wins the Women's World Championship 1, 2, 3 in a very solid match to kick off the show. And it actually makes the crowd start to wonder, was this intentional or not? Did Dominic intend to do this to give Liv the championship? Because if you remember what Liv said that she's back to take everything from Rhea Ripley. She already got Rhea Ripley on the shelf. She's already the Women's World Championship. Now she's going to take Dominic too, because for all intents and purposes, Dominic could be considered Rhea's property. So Liv Morgan taking Dominic too. Now Liv Morgan has essentially taken everything from Rhea Ripley, and this could open up the door for Rhea Ripley to come back as a badass babyface, because nobody wants to boo Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley, no matter how many times you want to build her up as a heel, nobody wants to boo Rhea Ripley. People are going to gravitate towards Rhea Ripley regardless, and Rhea Ripley will be coming back as a super over babyface while Liv Morgan plays the bitchy heel. Now, I said that Liv Morgan should have won the title in the Battle Royal last month, and I'm going to stick by that. I'm going to stick by that for one reason and one reason only. Because Becky's title run was essentially worthless. The only reason why Becky won the title was because WWE wants to pad her stats. WWE is pretty much saying, hey, this is our golden goose in the women's division. Becky Lynch is the face of the division. She's a 7-time women's champion. I have always stated that title reigns should be at least between 100 and 150 days to establish prestige. You give someone the championship, you let them run with it, and you actually build them up as a legit, credible threat. Becky's title reign did not do that. Becky's title reign was merely a thing just to give Becky Lynch another stat on her already impressive resume. If anything, they could have still did the same thing that they did at King and Queen of the Ring, but with Liv as the champion. Liv could have won the Battle Royal. Liv would have been the women's champion going into King and Queen of the Ring, and Becky could have said, listen, you may have won the Battle Royal, but you've never beaten me one-on-one. That would have been a much better story going into this show, and you still could have done the same thing with Dominic Mysterio, and Dominic would have been the reason that Liv Morgan would have retained the championship instead of won the championship. So I'm still sticking to what I said. Liv should have won the title in the Battle Royal, because then the Battle Royal would have at least meant something. As of right now, Battle Royal was completely fucking worthless, and all it did was make Becky the star, and it invalidated everyone else in the women's division. But with what they did here, they did the best possible thing that they could have done. Solid match and a great ending with Dominic Mysterio inadvertently, or maybe intentionally, helping Liv Morgan win the championship, and that I can't shit on. But Liv still should have won the title last month, but now we have the title on the right woman, and it seems as though it's all but confirmed that Rhea Ripley is going to be back by SummerSlam, and we're going to get a babyface Rhea versus a heel Liv Morgan, and Rhea's going to get the title back, because let's be honest here, there is no one that is on Rhea Ripley's level, and Rhea is going to be a 4-time women's champion or a 3-time? 3-time?
I want to say 3, maybe. I can't really remember, but I want to say 3. It's either 3 or 4.
Yeah, but either way, that title's going right back to Rhea Ripley. There's no way that Liv Morgan is getting past her whatsoever. But they started the show off in a solid way. Shout out to Hooligram, who just came in. Stevie, we're going to go on to the next match. Do you want to add anything to the women's match ending before we move on?
Not really. I said everything I really needed to say at the beginning. I just hope Rhea ends up leaving Judgment Day. That's all I can really say. I love Judgment Day as a whole, but I hope if they don't end up breaking up before SummerSlam or by SummerSlam, I hope she ends up leaving in the hole. Cause I just feel like it just brings her down as a character, because she doesn't fit in with them as much anymore, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel you. So from there, we go to Sami Zayn, Chad Gable, and Bronson Reed Intercontinental Championship triple threat match. And if you were to look at me and tell me that this was the best match on the show, I would not look at you weird. This was a great fucking match from start to finish, and it was a much needed match. Sami Zayn takes the win here, and just like the first match, this match had a great fucking ending too, and we'll talk about this. So, match started off with the crowd chanting "You suck" at Chad Gable a la Kurt Angle. So it looks like Chad Gable really is channeling his inner Kurt Angle. So crowd was loud. Crowd was loud for Sami. The brawl spilled out to the floor right out of the gate. We had Sami Zayn taking out both men with a tope con hero. Sunset flip powerbomb to Bronson Reed in the ring. We had Gable and Zayn going up top. And we had Bronson Reed hitting a Tower of Doom superplex spot, which looked very nice. All of a sudden, Bronson Reed, fucking maniac Bronson Reed, does a fucking moonsault, a picture-perfect moonsault, by the way. Zayn was able to move. Chad Gable then hits a moonsault on Bronson Reed, which looked fucking beautiful. Sami Zayn with a wrist lock, tornado DDT. Gable then with an ankle lock. Sami got out of it, and then he locked in an ankle lock on Bronson Reed, and then Sami locked in an ankle lock on Chad Gable while Chad Gable had the ankle lock on Bronson Reed. So then from there, we had Bronson Reed getting hit with a blue thunder bomb, which looked very nice. Bronson Reed then with a tope suicida. Bronson Reed looked great in this match, by the way. Crowd was chanting, "Holy shit." We had a tsunami, but the tsunami missed. Then Gable with a German suplex barrage on Sami. Sami reversed it, hit a German suplex barrage on Gable. And then Bronson Reed, we thought Bronson was going to hit a double suplex on Gable and Sami Zayn. Instead, Gable reversed it, and it was Gable that hit the double German suplex on Reed and Sami, which looked that much more impressive. It still impresses me how good Chad Gable is. How the fuck that man has not won a singles title is beyond me. So the crowd was chanting, "This is awesome. This is awesome." Otis then took out Bronson Reed. That was easy for him. Gable then told Otis to clothesline Sammy. Gable held Sammy up, but Otis wouldn't do it. Gable then got in Otis's face and just slapped the shit out of him. And you could see the fucking sweat fly off of Otis's face. Crowd's fucking booing the shit out of Gable. Gable held Sammy up. Otis clotheslined Gable inadvertently. Sami Zayn got back into the ring, hit a haluva kick on Bronson Reed, and pins Bronson Reed 1, 2, 3 to win the match. A great fucking match, and easily Sami's best match as Intercontinental Champion so far. Sami Zayn is doing a lot of good shit right now with that title, and he has no shortage of opponents over on Monday Night Raw. Let's get him in the ring with a Ricochet. Let's get him in the ring with a Tyler Bate. Let's get him in the ring with an Ilya Dragunov. Those are the guys that Sami Zayn needs to be in the ring with. And when we get that, then we're really going to start to see how good Sami Zayn is. So I'm very, very happy that they're giving Sami Zayn a lot of shit to work with in this IC title reign. And now we're going on towards a new story with Gable and Otis. And now when Otis inevitably turns on Chad Gable, the crowd is going to fucking pop big. Not as big as when Sammy turned on Roman, but they're going to fucking pop big because Otis is just so likable that anyone that even dares to try and be mean to him automatically becomes the biggest heel on the show. But this was a great match, great fucking match, and a great ending with Otis inadvertently costing Chad Gable and Bronson Reed. He looked good in this match. Couldn't have really asked for a better triple threat match. Great shit right here. All right, let me hear what you got to say.
In my notes, I promise you, the first thing I put down, Bronson Reed is very good. We already know Bronson Reed is very good. We all know this. But in this match, Bronson Reed looked amazing. And he looked so damn good, it pains me that he won't have a singles title for a little while because he deserves to be featured as much as possible. And another thing I have noted, I promise you, right underneath it, Chad Gable has a beautiful suplex.
Dude, his
He
suplex
was popping them hips. He has a beautiful suplex, probably one of the most beautiful ones I've ever seen, besides somebody who won't be named in Kurt Angle. He has a beautiful, beautiful suplex, and I like the match. And I can't say Sammy goes that far with the title as you was naming all them names. I like Sammy. I don't think he needs to be IC title right now. I think Chad Gable needs the IC title right now. I think the whole story is him being IC champion. Now, I do think they will take a break from it right now. I think the new story right now is Otis and Gable. So I feel like at Cash in the Castle, it will be Otis versus Gable, and Gable getting his win and kicking Otis out and then reuniting with the Creed brothers and them. Then at Bash in Berlin, then we get Sammy versus Gable 1-on-1, and that's when we get title change, and that's why I feel like it'd be a perfect title change. Crowd be rocking. But great match. Can't say anything else much about it. Sammy looked great. Chad looked great. Bronson looked great. Everybody looks great. And one thing I'm liking about WWE more recently is, I don't know if you can be able to tell, but every match right now is kind of telling the story within the match. And I'm liking it more because I feel like it makes the matches better, and I feel like it gives it more to build on after the match. So with this story, you got so much going on with Gable and Sammy. You got their feud more filling up, and you got the idea that, okay, Gable's out the IC title. He really wants it. Then you got Otis and Gable. Then you got Bronson Reed making a statement that he should be in his opportunity more. Even though he lost, I feel like he showed that he should be featured more, and that he's showing him what he can really do on a big stage. And I just like everything about the match. Now, one thing I will say, it's not off topic, but it is a little bit, but it is about the IC title. It bothers me a little bit. The IC title this year and last year has been made to be almost the most important title in WWE, in my opinion, besides Roman's title, of course, the Undisputed title. well, it's not Roman's title, but the undisputed title.
Let's be honest. Gunther's the real tribal chief.
Yeah, let's be honest. Honestly, if you would look at me and tell me Gunther's the best wrestler in the world, I wouldn't look at you sideways. I would honestly probably agree with you. So the IC title with Sammy, with Chad really wanting that title bad. Like that's the title he really wants. Like he's holding that title as the utmost regard. Gunther doing what he did with that title. I feel like that title has been elevated to such a high standard. And you got the U.S. title at the very bottom still. The U.S. title hasn't meant anything for a very long time. And I thought that, since they got the IC title to me a little bit, maybe they'll start putting a little bit more stock in the U.S. title. I think Logan Paul's defending that title, probably 2 or 3 times since he's had it. And, the matches hasn't been bad at all. But, there's been no stock in the U.S. title. So, it kind of bothers me a little bit that the IC title is made to be this important of a title, which it is an important title. Don't get me twisted. It's a really, really staple in WWE, but so is the U.S. title. And it's been built as shit for so long and still hasn't been built up. So I hope whoever gets it next really takes care of it and really builds it up like how Gable, Sammy, and Gunther is building up the IC title right now.
I'm hoping so. I'm really hoping so. I can definitely see either at SummerSlam or Bash in Berlin, I can definitely see that being the date that Chad Gable wins the IC title. That would be a nice solid amount of time for Zayn, for sure. I think that would be somewhere around 140 days. That's a solid amount of time for Sami Zayn to hold the championship. Lyra Valkyria and Nia Jax. This was the Queen of the Ring tournament finals. Now, out of all the matches on the show, I stated this on my live stream yesterday, and I even made a short about it. This match had the wrong outcome, and I'm going to tell you why. But first things first, let's go over this match. First of all, Lyra Valkyria, they had a great fucking entrance for Valkyria. She looked fucking amazing with the big wings. That was a very nice touch, I will say that. So Lyra and Nia, their match was actually very solid. Nothing too over the top, nothing I'm going to go back and rewatch, but it was solid enough. Although it did feel like a Monday Night Raw match, Lyra and Nia, they did what they needed to do. They worked pretty decently together, and it pretty much went down as you would have expected. The only thing I had a problem with was the ending. So Lyra with a wrecking ball dropkick. Nia was obviously using her power. Nia bulldozed Lyra into the corner. Lyra then with a step-up enziguri. Nia with a Samoan drop. She went for the Annihilator on the apron, but Lyra moved. Lyra was then caught by Nia, and Lyra then delivered a wheelbarrow bulldog on the floor, which looked very nice. Lyra then with a missile dropkick and a tornado DDT for 2. Nia with a Samoan drop. Nia then went for the Annihilator, but she got hung up in a tree of woe. Lyra with a running double stomp. Nia kicked out of that. Lyra then went up top and hit the diving axe kick, copyrighted by Carmelo Hayes. And then Lyra covered Nia for a 2 count. Then Nia went up and she was going for a Samoan drop off of the second rope. Lyra wriggled out of it. She was going for a power bomb, and Nia with the Annihilator while Lyra was standing up, and she squashed Lyra beneath her, which actually looked more brutal than the regular Annihilator, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Now, I will say this. That was a great ending. That ending was very nice. However, this was the wrong outcome, and I'll explain why. I will admit that Nia Jax has gotten significantly better. Matter of fact, Nia Jax has actually been one of the more tolerable acts on TV. I actually prefer tolerating Nia Jax more so than I do Jade Cargill. And I don't even believe I just fucking said that. Nia's had some solid matches this year, I will admit. But let's be honest here. Nia Jax, she is not a woman that we should be investing in right now. And the reason being is because she's had her time. She's already established. She's won championships. People know who she is. So what they essentially did was they wasted Queen of the Ring on Nia just to get her a match at SummerSlam after she's already established. And we all know that she's not beating Bayley. And we've seen that match numerous amounts of times as well. You gave the Queen of the Ring to Nia to give us a star that's already established. People already know who she is. And to get us a match at SummerSlam that we already know, we've seen before, and we pretty much already know the outcome for. There's no reason why Nia Jax should be beating Bayley. Nia Jax is not there to be winning championships. Nia Jax, essentially, as of right now, is a glorified enhancement talent. She is there to make others look good. She made Becky look good. She made Rhea look good. She made Liv look good. She is there to take pins and help enhance others. Meanwhile, WWE right now, they are in desperate need of some new stars, especially in the women's division. They had something with Lyra. Now, I'm not saying give Lyra the championship immediately. I'm not saying that at all. But it would have been much more beneficial for Lyra to win this. Then at least she would have an accomplishment underneath her belt. She would have had some credibility behind her. And then if Rhea's not back by SummerSlam, then you could easily do Lyra and Liv at SummerSlam because there's story there. Because Liv Morgan has been antagonizing Lyra Valkyria. And Becky Lynch, she is Lyra Valkyria's friend. Liv beat Becky. Lyra wants revenge. So the match does have story. You could have done that, and it would have been much more beneficial for Lyra to get the match at SummerSlam, to get a showcase, to get the audience more familiar with her. And then you could have done Rhea Ripley probably at Bash in Berlin at the end of August, and then Rhea beats Liv to win the title back. So my motto is create new stars. The match was solid, again, but Nia going over Lyra, an already established woman going over someone who could very well be the next breakout star, I don't know. I can't really get behind that. Matter of fact, if you could argue that it rendered the whole tournament meaningless because it didn't build up anyone new.
I wouldn't say in the build everybody new because it definitely built up Lyra. She's definitely a bigger star than she was when she debuted. She beat EO. She had a great run into the tournament. Now, I have mixed feelings about the win. I like the win simply because Nia, I feel like she deserves the win. I feel like she's been the best character overall on TV since she's been back so far. So Queen of the Ring isn't a good thing, isn't a bad thing to give her. But I feel like, how can I say this? On SmackDown, she's probably the most built up heel to go against Bayley. So I feel
Yes.
like we could have got Nia versus Bayley at SummerSlam or at any pay-per-view regardless. I feel like we could have got there without the Queen in the Ring. Like, I feel like we could have got there regardless. Now, Raw doesn't really have any built-up baby faces since Liv is the only biggest heel. The only baby face they really had was Rhea. Now that she's out. And Becky. But now Becky's taking a break. Rhea's hurt. You don't really have a baby face. It could have been Candice, but you made her a heel for some odd reason. So now she's one of your heels. So now you don't have one. Lyra is a new, fresh babyface who could have won a tournament, and then she could have faced Liv at any pay-per-view you wanted to, and it could have been great. It could have been Liv looking over her because she's like, you're a rookie, you don't deserve to be here, you haven't really done anything to be here, and really overlooking it, and the match could have been built up as Liv not taking her seriously, Liv overlooking her, and you can still have players to the Liv mocking Rhea. You can have Liv cutting promos about being better than Rhea, about having going to be a better champion than Rhea, about how Rhea isn't built like her, and all this other stuff, and and not even really paying attention to Lyra. You know what I'm saying? And you could have built it up like that. So I feel like I have mixed feelings about the win because Nia does deserve it, but then again, I feel like you could have got her versus Bayley at SummerSlam regardless. So we're just gonna have to see where this goes. I would have to say if Nia won, I would probably bank that Charlotte is closer to coming back, and maybe they do Charlotte versus Liv sometime soon or whatever. That's my only best bet to say why Nia won, because I really don't see any other woman on SmackDown, on Raw, who's a babyface who can go challenge Liv at any pay-per-view for that title. I really just don't see one.
Well, that's why Lyra would have been the better winner. And in addition to that, Charlotte's on SmackDown. She's not on Raw. Charlotte is on SmackDown because Andrade's on SmackDown. Therefore, Charlotte ain't going to be on Monday Night Raw anytime soon. But Lyra would have been much more beneficial because, like you just said, they don't really have anyone else built up on Monday Night Raw with Rhea out. And if Becky Lynch is going to take some time off, if Becky Lynch is going to relax and stay with Seth while he recovers, like you're saying, then it would have been more beneficial for Lyra to win, and you still could have built up the same exact story that I just said regarding Lyra looking for revenge on Liv, because Liv took advantage of Becky Lynch and beat Becky Lynch at Queen and King of the Ring for the Women's World Championship. And even in a losing effort, it would have done more for Valkyria, more so than it would have done for Nia, because Nia, she was inevitably going to go up against Bayley anyway, and you could have built up Nia through wins on TV rather than King and Queen of the Ring.
Exactly. And the thing with Becky, they might keep her on TV just until it depends on what Rhea's timetable is. It's really all it is. Because if she can't be back by Bash in Berlin, then maybe they do Becky one more time at age, just give us one more pay-per-view match, because you did get cheated out your match, you can't go with that, and you have like a no disqualification match, and you can do whatever you need to do there. But I don't really want to see another Becky and Liv match. I kind of really don't. So, but I feel like that's your only best option, because again, there isn't anybody else built up. So like, unless somehow they still somehow try to do Lyra, but then that wouldn't make sense, because what was the point of Queen in the Ring? Because that was the whole purpose of Queen in the Ring, was to get a title match. She lost Queen in the Ring. She doesn't get a title match. She can't just come out and just get a title match. So like, I feel like the best bet is to try to have Becky do one more pay-per-view and do like a Extreme Rules match at Cash in the Castle, and then hopefully Rhea comes back. That's kind of your best option to me, honestly.
Probably. King of the Ring, Gunther and Randy Orton, King of the Ring tournament finals. I would not have gone with Orton and Gunther. I would have probably gone with LA Knight and Gunther. Matter of fact, I'm still pissed off that it was Tama Tonga, of all people, that took out LA Knight. Although I love Tama Tonga. Tama Tonga's been presented very well, but, I mean, come on. You don't have a Ricochet in this tournament. You don't have a Tommaso Ciampa in this tournament. You don't have a Johnny Gargano in this tournament. You don't have an Andrade in this tournament. Tama Tonga and Angelo Dawkins are participants in this tournament. Really doesn't make any fucking sense to me. But we got Orton and Gunther. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Hologram. Exactly. Where's the LA Knight push? Where is it? Now, I hope that he beats Logan at SummerSlam. They teased it. I hope to fucking Christ that he beats Logan at SummerSlam, but it would be 1 year too late. He should have won the U.S. title last year. But regardless, so we got a very old school match between these two. Now, here's what I will say. I understand they were trying to tell a little bit more of a story in this match with Orton's back and Orton's knee, but I'm going to be quite honest here. The first 10 minutes of this match was boring as fuck. The first 10 minutes of this match, boring as fuck. Now, it did get better. It did get better, and it ultimately turned into a very good match by the end of it all, which I have no problem with. But, man, dude, did they fucking botch that ending. Dude, this gave me WrestleMania 35 vibes with Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. Randy Orton's left shoulder clearly off the fucking mat. Clear as day off the mat. Triple H did say that we could get a rematch. Maybe we get a rematch at Clash at the Castle, which, listen, if we get a rematch at Clash at the Castle, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. It could be a lot better than what we got in their first match, and we'll see how that goes. But dude, I don't know what they were thinking with this ending. Why didn't you just have Gunther win it with the powerbomb? That would have been so much more effective, and it would have avoided the botch. I really don't understand why we need to protect Randy Orton. Randy Orton's already established. He could take loss after loss after loss, and he'll still be Randy Orton.
I don't think it's really protecting Randy. I kind of like what they do in Gunther. He doesn't. I mean, he has a finisher, but he has multiple ways to end the match, and he really just goes off of really just like the match vibe itself. Wherever's hurting himself, he's going to attack it. He's going to go with it. And in the moment he saw a way to pin Orton, he went for it, and it worked. Now the ending was messed up. I feel like if his shoulder wasn't up, it would have been a better ending. I don't think it was supposed to be to protect Orton. I feel like it was just Gunther being a smart ring general and being just a good wrestler and just rolling radio up and knowing the situation. But the match itself, it wasn't a bad match. I liked it. Like you said, it was a little slow. It was a little boring at first, but I really liked the match. I like how the match was really paced. The match pace was really great. It started off really slow. It did, but it sped up. It really never really got to like a top speed to me. It really kind of felt like it kind of like leveled into like a mid playing field, but the match was brutal, if that makes sense. It wasn't like as brutal as most Gunther matches because it's more hard hitting and more stuff going on. But with the table spots and the chops and working on Randy's knee and his back and stuff like that, it was more of a nice, more slow paced storytelling match than anything. And it did what it needed to do. I do feel like we'll get a rematch probably at Cash in the Castle, which I wouldn't mind. But I hope their second match would be better than their first. But I feel like it will because they have more chemistry. They know more of each other's more moves. Because I can probably promise you that they've never been in a ring before until tonight. So they're probably just off key. They probably just don't know each other's moves, each other's tendencies, what they like, what they don't like. So I feel like they're talking about it, they're planning more, and I feel like their second match will be way more better than the first match because now they actually have experience to go off of in the planning room and not just talk about it.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I can see. So now another thing that I have to point out, dude, we got 7 fucking minutes of a Randy Orton entrance. 7 fucking minutes. We went through 2 full Randy Orton theme songs. They played his theme song and it played in full twice. And the bell didn't even ring. Dude, I'm sorry, but if you are going to have a major pay-per-view match like this, get to the fucking point. Do not make the show about video packages and entrances. The wrestling should be the meat and potatoes of the show. And I don't know what the fuck they were doing here. I get if you want to make it feel a little bit more important. I get Randy Orton's entrance is slow and methodical, but I mean, come on. This is a fucking pay-per-view or a PLE. You gotta get to the fucking point when it comes down to it.
Now, I do gotta ask you a question before we move on because this champion isn't on the card, so y'all think you know where I'm going with this. But Raw's situation right now to me is a little sticky, and I kind of know where I want to go with this, but it's other ways you can go with this. So right now, Gunther won King of the Ring, and he's going to win King of the Ring. Even if they go a rematch with Warren, he's going to win King of the Ring. It doesn't matter to me. So he's going to face either right now. He's facing Priest at SummerSlam for the world title, but you also have Drew who's going to be facing Priest for the world title at Bash of Berlin.
Clash of
Now,
the Castle.
yeah, Cash of the Castle. So I'm not. This is what confuses me. This is what throws me. Because right now, Drew's the best thing on TV. I love Gunther. He's the best wrestler in the world, but Drew so far is the best thing on TV, and so is this Punk feud. I don't think Punk and Drew needs the title, but I don't think you can keep a title off of Drew for too long. So giving the title to Gunther at SummerSlam, I don't think you can have him having a 6, 7, 8 month reign because what do you do with Drew that time? Because Drew to me is the best thing on TV and deserves to be world champion. But then again, Priest isn't beating Gunther, and Gunther he already said that he wants the world title, so you can't keep that away from him either. So I feel like they're kind of in a sticky situation. I want to see where you would go with this situation.
So let's go over the match first, and then I will talk about that because I have an idea. So the match started off with some uppercuts by Orton and some chops by Gunther. Gunther then, with a body slam, immediately started targeting the back. This is where it started to get boring, and Gunther was just, pretty much dissecting Randy Orton. It started to get a little lackluster here. Now, from there, Orton mounted a comeback. Nice power slam. I like Orton's power slam. RKO attempt, but Gunther hit a body slam and then delivered a nice diving splash for a 2 count. Orton hit the RKO, but his back gave out. So Orton was selling the back. Gunther rolled out of the ring, and then this gave Randy Orton the opportunity to hit Gunther with 3 back suplexes on the announce tables. Back in the ring, we had a drop kick to the bad knee, and then Gunther locked in a half crab. Orton fought out of the half crab, hit an RKO again. Gunther kicked out, rolled up Orton into a crucifix pin, and Orton's left shoulder clearly up, and it was up by at least 15 fucking miles off the fucking ground, clear as day. Randy Orton's shoulder was up, ending was botched. Boring at first, it got better, but in my eyes, they still should have ended it with a powerbomb or a last symphony or a big lariat, whatever you wanted to end it with. That would have been a much better way to end it, and it would have avoided the botch. Now, Gunther was the right winner. Gunther was the right winner. There was nobody better than Gunther. Randy Orton does not need this. Randy Orton didn't need it to build towards a match with Cody at SummerSlam. Now, what do you do? Because Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight title was confirmed for Clash at the Castle. If you guys remember, CM Punk called out Drew. CM Punk called out Drew for Clash at the Castle. Drew virtually ignored him and called out Priest. So, listen, he may be in his hometown, but I don't think Drew McIntyre is walking out of that match as the World Heavyweight Champion. If you're asking me, a certain guy named Fragile Phil, CM Punk, will be costing Drew McIntyre the World Championship, just like he cost him the title at WrestleMania, just like he cost him the number 1 contenders match on the Raw after WrestleMania. He's going to cost him again. And now, after a 3rd time costing Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest is going to beat McIntyre. CM Punk is finally going to get the attention of Drew to a point where Drew McIntyre, he's not going to be able to ignore Punk anymore. And that's going to be your SummerSlam match. It's going to be Drew versus Punk. Priest is going to retain the championship. And then Priest is going to get a nice, decent amount of time with the title, a nice solid 4 months with the title. And then he'll drop it to Gunther. And Gunther will be leaving SummerSlam with the World Heavyweight Championship. And listen, as much as I love Drew, I'm going to be completely honest with you right now. I don't think that Drew McIntyre is going to be a world champion anytime soon. I honest to God don't. And you want to know why? This is WWE 101. WWE 101, they book someone as great as they do. Drew McIntyre is the best thing on Raw. They booked Drew McIntyre as great as he could possibly be, and then they gave him the world title only to have CM Punk fuck him over. And then what happened a couple weeks later? Signed a new contract. When WWE gets you to sign the dotted line, it doesn't matter whether it's Triple H, whether it's Vince McMahon, whether it's Bruce Pritchard, whether it's Stephanie McMahon, whether it's Nick Khan, whether it's fucking Brad Blum, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. When WWE gets you to sign that dotted line, they got you. WWE, they got you to sign that dotted line. You are signing your soul to them. So it doesn't matter whether or not you are the best thing on Raw, whether you're the worst thing on Raw, whether you're over with the fans, whether you're not over with the fans. WWE is going to do whatever the fuck they want with you, and you can't do a goddamn thing. Honest to God, listen, Drew McIntyre signed with the WWE. He re-signed with them. His decision, I respect his decision, but in this current landscape of WWE, Drew McIntyre, it doesn't look like he's going to be a world champion anytime soon. And even if he does win against Damian Priest, you honestly believe that he's going to make it past SummerSlam? You honestly think he's going to make it past Gunther? No. So unfortunately, as great as Drew is, and as great as this feud with Punk has been, I can't see him winning the World Heavyweight Championship anytime soon. It's that title right now is Gunther's. Because A, you couldn't have the Money in the Bank briefcase go to waste. You needed to give Priest the championship because that briefcase should not be going to waste. Priest is the guy right now. You can't have King and Queen of the Ring go to waste because you already wasted it on Nia Jax. You didn't waste it on Gunther. Gunther needs to win. So unfortunately, listen, it's predictable, but it makes sense. Punk is going to cost Drew at Clash at the Castle. Priest is going to SummerSlam. We're going to get Priest and Gunther for the first time ever, and Gunther is ultimately going to win, and Priest will be off to bigger and better things. Well, I don't know bigger and better things, but Priest, he's pretty much going to be in a feud with the Judgment Day, and the Judgment Day is going to get sick of Damian Priest. That's pretty much it. Again, I love Drew, but I don't think he's going to be world champion anytime soon. And even if he is, he ain't going to be world champion at least until the middle of 2025.
Yeah, I can see it. I can agree with that. Because like I said, Gunther's 100% winning the title at SummerSlam.
Yes.
I don't care who he's challenged. I don't care if it's Drew. I don't care if it's Priest. It could be God for all I give a fuck. Gunther's walking out of SummerSlam with that world title. I just don't know how you just deny Drew the world title afterwards because his feud with Punk has to end eventually, and to me it ends at SummerSlam. That's the big. Like I feel like it ends there. I feel like that's the best match work. I feel like by WrestleMania, Seth would be back, and then you'll do either Seth and Punk or Punk and Gunther or Punk Seth and Gunther around that time. But I just don't know what you do with Drew after the fact because. I mean, I can't even. I don't know what to say after. I just don't know what you do with Drew after the whole Punk feud. Like I know what you do with Punk. You could do his stuff with Seth still. You could do his stuff with Gunther. You got stuff with other people. You can do stuff what you ever done before, like maybe a Chad Gable, maybe like maybe an IC, like you can do stuff like that. I do not know what you do with Drew besides him being a world champion and just challenging guys. That's why I'm so confused. Raw's top card because Gunther's the top guy, talent wise and booking wise, he's going to be the top guy. But Drew is the best thing on Raw, and he has nothing to do after Punk. Like literally, all he has to do on Raw is Punk. That's all he has.
Dude, the feud with Punk is going into the fall. It's not going to end at SummerSlam. The match at SummerSlam is going to be their first match. It's going into the fall.
It has to. At that point, it really has to, because like I said, I don't know what you do with him. So we just have to see what happens. But like you said, 100% Gunther's winning that title at SummerSlam.
I can see that.
It's Drew versus Sheamus is after Punk. I wouldn't mind. I honestly wouldn't mind Sheamus going heel and them going to a tag team division. I wouldn't mind that. But it gives them something to do. I'm just saying, I wouldn't mind it. It just gives them something to do. Sheamus really isn't probably going to be doing anything major on the WWE roster as a singles guy. So I think his last best work to me, besides this latest IC title thing here with Gunther, was the bar with Cesaro. And I feel like him and Drew can kind of remake something like that. So if anything, I wouldn't mind him and Drew going to the tag team division. I wouldn't really mind that. I feel like they can really elevate those tag team titles, but I mean, if you say Sheamus versus Drew is going to be a feud after Punk, I mean, I wouldn't really mind it. I just really wouldn't see the reasoning behind it. And I feel like it'd be way too long, like way too after the fact. But
we'll see. We'll see what happens. Crown Jewel is returning to Riyadh on November 2nd of this year. So they're going back for the 2nd event in Saudi Arabia this year. And then we got the main event. Cody Rhodes, Logan Paul, undisputed WWE Championship. Now, let's go over what we're going to go over, and then I'm going to mostly praise this. Although, the build, I shit on the build, rightfully so, because WWE, they do not know what the fuck they're doing with Cody, and they didn't build up anyone. They built up no one for when Cody beat Roman. When Cody Rhodes was set in stone to beat Roman, they should have had at least 3 or 4 people lined up. But I look at the roster right now, there's no one that's on Cody's level except for Orton, Punk, and Gunther. And Gunther, he's going to win the World Heavyweight title. Punk is on Monday Night Raw, and Randy Orton's being saved for SummerSlam. So what the fuck are you going to do with Cody in the meantime? They had him go up against Logan Paul. Meanwhile, Logan Paul is the United States champion. I would not have a problem with this match if Logan Paul already lost the U.S. title. But now you're making the United States championship feel weak, and you advertise this initially as a title for title match. Then you realize that you fucked up, and you went back on it, and you only made it for Cody's title because you realized, oh shit, Cody doesn't need the U.S. title. Now, let's go over the match. So, Cody was in control early on. Nice gourd buster for a 2. Logan Paul delivered an alley-oop face buster on Cody for a 2. That was actually the first time in many years I've seen an alley-oop face buster. Last time I saw that was when Jeff Hardy was in WWE. So then we had a standing moonsault for a 2. Avalanche arm drag by Cody. Cody then with a disaster kick. And by the way, I don't know if you've noticed this, but the disaster kick actually looks a lot better when the opponent's on the apron. I like the disaster kick when the opponent's on the apron. So Paul was then sent into the barricade. Logan Paul took the brass knuckles and hit Cody right in the ribs. In the ring, Cody was thrown back in, and then Michael Cole was calling Logan Paul a loser. This was actually pretty funny. Michael Cole was calling Logan Paul a loser, and Corey Graves was actually holding him back. I don't know why I found that funny, but I found that funny. So then Cody Rhodes comes through the ropes with a tope suicida. Cody Rhodes with a nice power slam, little flip-flop and fly, figure 4 leg lock. Logan Paul got to the ropes. Logan Paul was hit with a Cody cutter, but he kicked out. Logan Paul then with a crossroads, and he actually delivered a decent-looking crossroads, I'll say that. Logan Paul with a crossroads, and Logan Paul almost won the title right there, but he kicked out, did Cody. Cody Rhodes then sent Logan Paul over the announce table. Now, this was the American announce table. Cody then went off of the barricade by the timekeeper's area and delivered a Cody cutter on the American announce table, although it looked more like a stunner. Either way, it looked cool, and Cody Rhodes did not get the table to break. So, Cody cutter on the announce table, but the table didn't break. Cody Rhodes then pulled Logan Paul back out of the ring to break the count. Logan Paul then sent Cody into the steps and then put Cody on the Arabic announce table, the Saudi announce table. Logan Paul went up, beautiful frog splash off the top rope through the table. Logan Paul's got a nice frog splash, I'll say that. Logan Paul then threw Cody back into the ring, another frog splash, and it didn't work. It did not work. Cody Rhodes kicked out again. So all of a sudden, Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul then inadvertently took out the ref. Cody Rhodes with a vertebreaker, which looked nice. Vertebreaker, but there was no official. Logan Paul with a low blow. He got the brass knuckles again. All of a sudden, the Arabic or the Saudi commentator, Ibrahim Al-Hajjaj, I believe his name is, Ibrahim Al-Hajjaj, the special guest commentator and comedian, he pulled Logan Paul out of the ring to stop Paul from using the brass knuckles. Cody Rhodes then hit crossroads number 1, crossroads number 2, crossroads number 3, and Cody Rhodes retains the undisputed WWE Championship over Logan Paul to close out King and Queen of the Ring. Now, first of all, I tweeted this out and I'm going to reiterate it. WWE is very, very lucky to have someone like Cody Rhodes on their roster. And the reason why I say that is because this is the second time in a row that Cody Rhodes was given little to nothing to work with, but yet he made it into something. There are very few people in pro wrestling that can literally take a piece of shit and then turn it into gold. Cody Rhodes is one of those people. This is the second time that WWE has completely disregarded the build towards one of his matches, and he ended up taking what WWE gave him, and he made the match great. That's why WWE is very lucky to have Cody on their roster. They should not take him for granted. They should not take him for granted whatsoever. And Logan Paul, listen, Logan Paul's fantastic. Logan Paul's been great. The only issue here is, A, the build didn't make any sense. And then we got two things about this match. There's two things about this match that really brought it down a little bit. Now, it was a great match. Don't get me wrong. Great match. But two things I want to say. Number one, WWE is over-abusing the brass knuckles with Logan Paul. WWE is doing it a little too much. It honestly reminds me of Jinder Mahal a little bit. Remember when he was WWE champion and we constantly had the Singh brothers getting involved? I don't mind it being once in a while, but I mean, every fucking match we see Logan Paul bring out the brass knuckles. It really kind of brings his matches down now. It makes me believe, hey, Logan Paul can't win anything without the brass knuckles. That's one problem. And then the second problem, we did not need Ibrahim Al-Hajjaj getting involved here. So if you would have taken out Ibrahim Al-Hajjaj and you would have taken out the brass knuckles, this match would have been as good as it could possibly be. Other than that, still a great match. Cody Rhodes is a very special talent, and WWE should treat him with a little bit more respect rather than giving him nothing to work with. This was a great main event, just like the main event with AJ Styles at Backlash was a great main event. Cody Rhodes, right now, he's doing what he can to make the title feel as important as it could. I just wish that WWE would give Cody the proper booking that he deserves rather than disregarding him because, hey, he's Cody Rhodes. We don't really need to do much. Regardless, still a great main event, and Cody Rhodes retains. Ball's in your court.
It was a great main event. Logan, like I told you before the show started, Logan Paul's actually growing on me, and the match itself was a very good match. Like I told you, it was a little theatrical for my liking. I feel like it was. I don't really like my main events to be over the top and have so many distractions and so many ref bump every time here and there, and then outside interference and then weapons being used. I just want a clean match sometimes. But like you said, the Nugs have been overused by Logan Paul. I feel like it doesn't really need. And I'm kind of confused on why they really need him to be, because they're building him up as this great boxer who has really good strength in his fist, has knockout power. So if you're building that up, I don't really know why you would need the Nugs. Like, I understand he's a heel and you understand, oh, it adds more power, it's more devastating. You can do it here and there, understand it. But I don't really know why they need to use it all the time when it really isn't needed when you build him up as having knockout strength. I feel like it's just over the top. It's just overdoing it. And I do agree with you. I feel like they don't have anybody to go against Cody. I feel like they did Carmelo Hayes a little too early. I feel like he could have been a nice opponent at Cash the Castle or at
Money in the Bank.
Either one. They could have did a build up, but they did it on SmackDown for some odd reason, which I'm not upset at it. Like, it gave him a nice opportunity and a nice showcase, but you could have really built it up, and like, he's really running with this I was the number one pick thing. So you really could have had him going over matches. You could have him he's right now he's about to feud with Bobby Lashley. You could have had a mini feud with Bobby Lashley on TV with him beating Bob, and then him actually challenging Cody like, hey, I'm the number one pick. I'm the star. You don't need to push me. You don't need to put me versus the top guy because that's money. I am money. I'm him. Like you really could have built it to that more to the pay per view. Really gave us a nice build, but you wasted that. And my thing with SmackDown, they just don't have anybody. I feel like they gave all the good guys to Raw, all the main top guys who's credible to Raw. Like even somebody like a Bronson Reed could have been a good challenger for Cody at a pay per view. He's on Raw. You could have had somebody like a Ricochet he's turning heel. He could have been a good opponent. He's on Raw. A Braun Breaker. He's on Raw. You just have so many guys who could be a good
What are they
challenger.
doing with Andrade? Andrade's on SmackDown. Why the fuck is he not in a bigger position right now?
He could be and you have him as a baby face, so he's not really in position. You have Kevin Owens, but he's a baby face, so you really have no top heels besides who's the top heel on SmackDown? I'm thinking about because Randy's not a heel, Randy's a face. Like Logan Paul is probably the top heel on SmackDown,
Solo.
and Solo. I forgot all about Solo. Goddamn,
But he shouldn't be losing anytime soon.
No, they probably do that at SummerSlam with Roman coming back, but like they just don't have anybody, and so I hope like it's just so much. Even Braun, I'm pretty sure Braun's on Raw. Braun could have came in as a heel. He could have been on SmackDown. He could have gave. It's just so many guys who they don't have to be main event guys like a Bronson, like a Ricochet, like a Braun, like this Uncle Howdy group, like the Wyatt Sisters coming in. It's so many guys who's not main event guys, but could have gave Cody a nice challenge until you build up more guys in the long run who they just sent to Raw. And I feel like it's just he has nobody to challenge. Like he has literally nobody to fight. I feel like either you have to. I feel like they're really. I hate to say it, but you really have to either do face versus face a lot and just build on respect factor, or you have to turn Cody heel because you can't turn everybody heel that he goes against. You got Kevin Owens, you can't just
You can do babyface versus babyface and make it serious.
that's their only option. Or turn him. That's their only option. Like because everybody on that show who's built up like a Kevin Owens, like a Randy, like a Andrade, they're all baby faces. So you have to either adjust him to making him heel, which I don't want at the moment. Maybe later on next year when he goes deeper to his title reign. Not now though. But right now, you probably have to go face versus face and build up Cody as a guy who respects his opponent and wants to build up prestige for the champion. So I don't know where they go after this, but I hope they do Cody well. But so far, he's knocking out the park. But right now, they're not giving him anything, and he has nothing to work with.
Now, here's what I hope they don't do. Now, I said that this needs to be a one-time thing, but if you guys remember, if everyone in the chat remembers, Logan Paul said Cody Rhodes has done nothing to earn a United States title match. There's nothing that's stopping WWE from doing a rematch at Clash at the Castle with Logan Paul putting the U.S. title on the line against Cody, and then Logan Paul retaining against Cody, and then you do a third match at SummerSlam for both sets of championships. And I hope that they don't do that. What they need to do, they need to find Cody a new opponent. I'm assuming, to me, if you want to do Cody Rhodes defending the title at Money in the Bank, I would do Cody versus Kevin Owens because it's in Canada. So Kevin Owens would get a nice showcase in Canada against Cody Rhodes, and then you build towards Orton and Cody at SummerSlam. Those should be Cody Rhodes' next two big opponents, in my eyes. But listen, I really do hope that they put some more effort into building up Cody. I'm very, very glad that Cody Rhodes is going out there and he's putting on these great matches, because if he can do that, then ultimately his title reign will remain in a good position. As long as you can continue to put on these great matches and you are in the main event and you're delivering in the main event, Cody Rhodes might have a chance at overcoming shit booking on WWE's side. But if WWE does not give Cody Rhodes anything to work with, like if he's fighting fucking Baron Corbin and he's fighting fucking Tama Tonga and he's fighting all these other fucking undercarders, then we have a fucking problem. But you got some guys on SmackDown that you can have Cody fight. You got Owens, you got Orton, you got Solo. Those are 3 big names. Build them up right, position them on the correct shows, and you could have something of substance with Cody. But listen, as of right now, we're just pretty much banking on Cody and his skills, his skill to pretty much turn chicken shit into chicken salad in order to make this title reign good. And at the end of the day, I don't think that's fair to Cody at all. It's not fair to him. Matter of fact, it's actually flat out disrespectful to Cody.
Very disrespectful to Cody. I don't know. I feel like they're trying their best right now with Cody. I just feel like they just haven't given him anything. But then, like, with the draft, it was the perfect time to give him stuff, to give him everything to work with, and they still gave him nothing. So I feel like their focus more is on his bloodline stuff than anything, which, again, I don't find fair in Cody because I feel like they're putting more stock in putting more fuel into the bloodline and making them feel more important to actually building up challengers for Cody's title reign. And I feel like eventually we're just going to get to that point where we got to Roman where we're just like, who's next? And we're just going to get random matches on SmackDown and random matches here and there. And then we're just going to kind of get bored of it, which is kind of sad to say, but I can kind of see it going away because I really just don't see, like you just named 3 guys. You can name Andrade to that. After those 4 guys, who's on that roster that can challenge Cody Rhodes? LA Knight, but he's gonna be US title. You can rerun probably Carmelo Hayes, Bobby Lashley's on the roster, but like he's on the roster. Like I just can't name any. I can't think of any other guy on that roster who's built up enough for Cody to have a long, interesting, great title feud. So we're just going to see where this goes after SummerSlam. I think you can get him to SummerSlam with good feuds easily. After SummerSlam, I feel like you get a little shaky. I feel like you just start throwing shit at the wall and hope it sticks, basically.
Pretty much. But that was pretty much it. That was King and Queen of the Ring. Very good show, though. Still a very good show. We got a lot of great matches with the triple threat match and the main event being the top 2 best matches on the card, minus the Queen of the Ring finals. Every match virtually had the right outcome, and it was a solid 2 hours and 50 minutes of pro wrestling. It did not shit the bed. It really didn't have any room to shit the bed. So ultimately, WWE, they did what they did. They did what they needed to do. And we got ourselves a very solid premium live event to begin what should be, hopefully, a very good summer period for the company. And if they play their cards right, it could be the best summer period that we've seen since the summer of Punk in 2011. In the meantime, that wraps up this edition of The Rewind. Thank you very much to everyone who stopped on by. Stevie, you are the fucking GOAT. You are a fucking beast in every sense of the word, and I cannot wait until you got your own channel. Hopefully, we'll be collaborating a lot more. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to set your notifications for tomorrow. I'm flying solo for the Rewind for Double or Nothing, and I'm looking forward to a lot of good shit on Double or Nothing. And if AEW plays their cards right tonight, we could end up getting the best Double or Nothing out of the entire, I believe it was, how many years? 6 years now. This is the 6th Double or Nothing in 5 years, the 6th Double or Nothing that they've done. On paper, it looks like the best one that they've ever done. It looks like a lot of these matches could be on All In, but they're giving it to us at Double or Nothing. If they play their cards right, it's going to be one hell of a show. In the meantime, thank you very much once again, Stevie. One more time, where can everyone find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at Lil Stevie 317. If you do want to find me on Instagram, which I really don't post on that much either, it's King _ Seth, which is a SEF3. You also find me there. But mostly Twitter is where you'll find me at. And my new show is coming out soon, but we'll talk about that more when I get more stuff situated.
I'm looking forward to it, bro. I really am. In the meantime, you already know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. Set your notifications for this Thursday when me and the Greek Savage, we will debut an all-new show on Thursdays at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time, the Savage Storm Wrestling Super Show, hosted by me and Mr. Greek Savage, where we will be going over all the latest news and rumors and reports in professional wrestling. We'll be talking about WWE, TNA, AEW, NWA, some of the indies as well, and we could get some pro wrestlers on the show for you guys to talk to, ask some questions, and we may invite some fans on the show. I could be calling this guy right over here to come on the show as well. But in the meantime, he is Lil Stevie. I am DJ Storms. This has been The Rewind. But before we get out of here, very important question that all must answer. Yo, Stevie, who runs the IWC?
That's DJ Storms, my man.
Damn fucking right, baby. Who but DJ motherfucking Storms. And don't you ever forget it.
Retribution! Oh yeah, we want retribution! Oh yeah, we want retribution!